I just can't give it up. Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally, and in today's video, we are back at it with another G35 snowplow video. So in today's video, I want to lift this thing. Now, I did put stock suspension on here. It was a pain in the ass getting it on. I don't really want to have to take it off. So I ended up grabbing these rubber spring spacers on Amazon. Now these basically go in between your coils and give you, says 1.25 to 1.5 inch lift. That's if you put 2 on each spring. I'm gonna put 4 on each spring, so hopefully we can get a decent lift out of this thing. Now typically I would not recommend this setup for a car that you're gonna be using on the road, but because this car is dedicated snowplow, we're gonna throw these things on here. And what's great about these is it gives me the ability to take them out if I want to use this stock suspension later on down the road for another project, or if we decide to lower this thing back to the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull this thing into the garage real quick and see if we can quickly throw these things on and see if we can get a little bit of a lift on it. So the car is in the garage. We got her all jacked up. And these spacers I can fit in width-wise here, no problem. But I'd like to get them height-wise. I think if I stack 4 in there, this should give us a substantial lift here. Now, I just set the car back down on the ground because I would like to get a measurement here. About 27.25. So I'm gonna see if I can throw these things in here real quick. I might have to take the tire off just to make things a little easier. I'm gonna stack those inside here, and we're gonna see what kind of lift we got, man. I'm pretty stoked for this. So I got 4 on one spring. I just had to use a crowbar basically to pry the spring open a little bit. Now, as you can see, this is not the nicest looking setup, kind of smushing the boot up here. You can see why you wouldn't want to use a setup like this on the road unless it was for short distances. But that went relatively easy. I'm going to go ahead, throw the tire back on here, lower it down, and see what we're looking at, man. I'm pretty excited because this was relatively cheap and very quick. So even if I get like 1 inch out of it, I'm pretty happy, man. Alrighty, so I am already noticing a substantial difference, and we got some nice gap there. This is really gonna come in handy because we're getting about 1 foot of snow tomorrow. So I was a little bit worried about the ride height. The back's pretty good. The back is still stock as well. But this is gonna give us that extra little boost here. And now that we are right around about 28.25, so we gained about 1 inch of clearance there, which isn't overly huge, but I was hoping to get some 2-inch spacers on this thing. Right now I think there's like 15 mil or something like that, just to clear the brakes. But I think once we get some 2-inch spacers on there, I mean, this thing is looking sick right now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and raise the other side because I'm sure once we raise that side, we might get a little bit more on this side as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so driver's side is all done. Put some zip ties around there to hold them in place. Like I say, we're not gonna be jumping this thing, just need that extra little bit of lift. I'm gonna go ahead, throw the tire back on, pull this thing out in the sun. We can do a little bit of a walk around while it's still daylight. Alrighty, so driver's side wheel is on. We're looking like we got some nice lift here. This side's at 29. So we gained over 1.5 inches on this side. Now let me see. I know this will probably settle a bit. Passenger side, still about 28.5, so I might be able to fill this tire up a little bit more and get that extra 1/2 inch here, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna pull this thing out of the garage, throw the plow on, and see what it looks like all completed here. Alrighty, there you have it. So I did cut the rear arches in the back just to clear the tire chains. So that's the stock ride height. But in the front, obviously, we got the spacers now. Got about 1.5 inch lift. And from the ground to the side skirt, right here is pretty much level with the rear now. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I wanted to get this done today because tomorrow we are going to be getting a relatively big snowfall. Going to be the first real test for this car. The last video we did plowing with this thing, we really didn't put this thing to a true test. So there you have it. Budget lift kit. Maybe that'll be our thumbnail there. Very budget lift kit, very easy to install. I mean, you really don't need any tools for this. All I did was jack the car up, take the tires off, and then I had a crowbar to kind of wedge them in there and a couple zip ties. So we're gonna see what happens, man. I'm thinking that's pretty much gonna be it for today's video. Yeah, man, hopefully this thing will perform tomorrow, and I can bring you guys some content, which you'll probably be seeing about a week from when you're seeing this video. So stay tuned, stay locked. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, we're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace.